Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Saira Mujtaba with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister stresses on close economic and strategic cooperation between India and Sri Lanka. Praises Indian diaspora for strengthening country's image in the world. Narendra Modi reiterates BJP's stand of serving people round the clock, not just during elections. JDU decides not to be part of NDA outside Bihar to contest upcoming assembly polls in 4 states alone. India calls for promoting micro, small and medium enterprises in developing countries to spur job creation and income generation. In ICC Cricket World Cup, India set 353-run victory target against Australia at the Oval, and summit clash between Rafael, Nadal and Dominic Thiem underway in French Open tennis. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed upon close economic and strategic cooperation between India and Sri Lanka. During his short visit to the island nation today, the Prime Minister held a bilateral meeting with Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena. The two leaders held discussion on several issues, including unity in efforts for eradicating terrorism, maritime security in the Indian Ocean region, and cooperation in economic development. Mr. Modi also interacted with members of the Indian community at India House in Colombo. He emphasized the important role played by the community in strengthening bilateral relations. He praised the endeavors of Indian diaspora for strengthening country's image in the world. The Prime Minister said democracy is part of India's ethos, adding that his government has received a decisive mandate.
भारत में लोकतंत्र ये व्यवस्था नहीं है, भारत में लोकतंत्र ये संस्कार है और दुनिया यही समझ नहीं पाती है। दुनिया आज भी व्यवस्था से लोकतंत्र से जुड़ी हुई है, भारत संस्कारों से लोकतंत्र से जुड़ा हुआ है। सदियों से हमारे पूर्वजों ने जो परंपरा बनाई है उसमें लोकतंत्र का एसेंस है और उसी के कारण आज हमारा लोकतंत्र सामर्थ्यवान बनकर के नित्य नई ताकत पाते हुए आगे बढ़ रहा है।
Mr. Modi also visited St. Anthony's Church, which was the target of Easter Sunday attacks, and offered his condolences to the victims. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said he is confident that Sri Lanka will rise again and cowardly acts of terror cannot defeat the spirit of the island nation. He said India stands in solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka. Our Colombo correspondent has filed this report.
PM Modi concluded a short but highly productive visit to Sri Lanka, where he met leaders across political spectrum, including opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa. The visit assumed significance as PM Modi was the first leader to visit Sri Lanka after Easter Sunday attacks. President Sirisena thanked Mr. Modi for the visit, saying it gives a positive signal to the world about Sri Lanka's secure environment. He said the visit would be useful to promote Sri Lanka's economic, trade and tourism development. Both leaders also condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations and decided to step cooperation in the area. Santosh Kumar, AIR News, Colombo.
The Prime Minister reached Colombo this morning on the second leg of two-nation tour after completing his Maldives visit. This was Mr. Modi's maiden trip abroad following his re-election as the Prime Minister. With this, the Prime Minister successfully concluded his two-day visit to Maldives and Sri Lanka. In a tweet, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said, the visit demonstrated India's priority to the neighbourhood first policy. In Maldives yesterday, Mr. Modi said, India wants every nation in the region to develop, prosper and become self-dependent. He said India will extend fullest possible help for Maldives. Addressing the Maldivian Parliament, the Majlis, the Prime Minister stressed on the urgent need for a global conference on terrorism. Mr. Modi also held discussions with President Ibrahim Mohamed Saleh in Mali. The two countries reaffirmed their stand to fight terrorism in all its forms. They also agreed to further enhance close cooperation in various areas and intensify economic and cultural relations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reiterated BJP's stand of serving the people round the clock and not just during elections. Addressing a public meeting at Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh this evening, he said the party is in politics not just to contest elections but to serve the people.
जीतना ये चुनाव के समय चुनाव के मैदान में करना होता है, लेकिन जनता जनार्दन का दिल जीतना ये हमें 365 दिन अखंड अविरत रूप से करते रहना है और उसी की हमारी काम को आज देश ने स्वीकार किया है और हमें इतना बड़ा जनादेश देश ने दिया है.
Mr. Modi asserted that BJP workers are committed towards building the nation. He said the aspirations which are rising among people reflects the bright future of our country. Congratulating state's new Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy over his landslide victory, Prime Minister Modi assured him of all possible support from the centre for the development of Andhra Pradesh. The Prime Minister also offered prayers at the famous hill shrine of Lord Venkateshwara. He reached Tirupati after concluding a successful visit to Maldives and Sri Lanka. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. Janata Dal United or JDU has decided that it will not be part of the National Democratic Alliance or NDA outside Bihar. The decision was taken during party's national executive meeting chaired by JDU President Nitish Kumar at his official residence in Patna today. The meeting was attended by party chiefs of various states and office bearers of JDU. Mr. Kumar said the party will contest assembly polls separately in 4 states of Jharkhand, Haryana, Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir. He said the party will fight on all assembly seats in Jharkhand. However, Mr. Kumar categorically stated that NDA is intact and united in Bihar and there is no dispute between JDU and BJP. Meanwhile, party's General Secretary K.C. Tyagi said party's organizational election will be completed in October this year. Union Home Minister and BJP President Amit Shah today held meeting with senior party leaders from the states which will go to assembly polls later this year. The meeting held at party headquarters in New Delhi was attended by core leaders from the states of Haryana, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar also attended the meeting. Centre has expressed deep concern over continuing violence in West Bengal even after conclusion of general elections and issued an advisory to the state government. Sources said the unabated violence over the past weeks appeared to be a failure on the part of the law enforcement machinery of the state to maintain the rule of law and inspire confidence among people. Latest reports indicated that 4 persons were killed yesterday in post-poll clashes in Bhangipara, Hadgacha in North 24 Parganas district. Earlier also there have been reports of incidents of violence in which people lost lives in various parts of West Bengal. Sources said Home Ministry has strongly advised West Bengal to ensure that all necessary measures are taken to maintain law and order, peace and public tranquility. The ministry has also requested to take strict action against officials found delinquent in discharge of their duty. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that there have been no new cases of Nipah virus disease in Kerala. He also stated that the clinical condition of Nipah positive patient is improving. As on today, 8 patients are in the isolation ward in Kerala and 7 of them were found negative for Nipah virus. An official release said National Institute of Virology in Pune has collected 3 blood samples from pigs and about 30 samples from bats from Todupura in Idukki district of Kerala. The release said Dr. Harshvardhan is personally reviewing and monitoring the status of Nipah virus disease and has directed the senior officers of his ministry to review the status with the Kerala government. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar said people from Pune are eager to see pollution-free rivers and central government has decided to fulfill their dream. Mr. Javadekar was speaking to reporters after the review meeting of pollution abatement of Mulla Musa River project in Pune today. He said the project will now be on fast track. He assured that Union government will repay loan expected from foreign agencies for this purpose. For the pollution abatement of rivers Mulla Musa, the government signed a loan agreement with the Japan International Cooperation Agency under the National River Conservation Plan in the year 2015. The total cost of the project is 990 crore rupees. The Mulla and Musa rivers are an integral part of the history and culture of Pune city. The Central Pollution Control Board identified both the rivers among 300 plus polluted rivers in the country. India today stressed on promoting micro, small and medium enterprises or MSMEs in developing countries as they are important for employment and income generation. At a G20 meeting in the Japanese city of Tsukuba, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said there is a need to support greater participation of MSMEs to spur job creation and promote trade in a sustainable manner. The minister was speaking at a session on promotion of trade and investment that contribute to sustainable and inclusive growth. He said that free trade and investments will benefit developing countries when they remain development-centric. At the sidelines of the G20 meet, the Commerce Minister held series of bilateral meetings with his counterparts from various countries, including the UK, Japan, Spain, Korea and South Africa, and discussed ways to increase trade and investments. With Japan, he also discussed issues related to a proposed mega free trade agreement, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP. G20 is a grouping of 20 developed and developing nations. Indian Air Force today continued search for the missing AN-32 aircraft. In a tweet, Air Force said the weather in the area was poor and adversely hampered the search by aerial platforms. Helicopters and transport aircraft could carry out very limited operations due to low clouds and rain in the area. However, ground teams have continued this search in full force. The teams have made considerable headway into the search area, which has been progressively expanded based on inputs from multiple sources. Search on ground will continue through the night. The Jammu and Kashmir Anti-Corruption Bureau continued its raid on the second consecutive day today at the J&K Bank Srinagar corporate headquarters following sacking of its chairman yesterday. Anti-Corruption Bureau, Kashmir, has registered a case under Prevention of Corruption Act to look into the allegations of illegal and fraudulent appointments in the bank. In Hong Kong, thousands of protesters marched through the city today to voice their opposition to government-sponsored legislation that would allow people to be extradited to mainland China to face charges. The massive protest took place 3 days before Hong Kong's government plans to bring the bill to the full legislature, bypassing the committee process in a bid to win approval by the end of the month. Opponents say that China's legal system would not guarantee the same rights to defendants as in semi-autonomous Hong Kong. On to sports. In the ICC Cricket World Cup, chasing the victory target of 353 runs set by India, Australia were 127 for 1 in 24 overs at the Oval in London when reports last came in. India made 352 for the loss of 5 wickets in stipulated 50 overs. Shikhar Dhawan added a magnificent score of 117 runs off 109 balls, while Virat Kohli scored 82 runs. Earlier, the men in blue won the toss and opted to bat first. In French Open tennis, the men's singles final between second seed Rafael Nadal and fourth seed Dominic Thiem is underway in Paris. In women's singles, Australian Ashley Barty won her first Grand Slam singles title after beating Czech teenager Markéta Vondrousova in straight sets in the final. In the men's doubles final, German pair of Kevin Krawitz and Andreas Mies defeated home favourites Jeremy Shachli and Fabrice Martin. In hockey, India will take on Uzbekistan to seal a semi-final spot in the FIH Series Finals tournament in Bhubaneswar tomorrow. After thrashing Russia 10-0 in the tournament opener, world number 5 India defeated 21st ranked Poland 3-1 in the second match. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister stresses on close economic and strategic cooperation between India and Sri Lanka, praises Indian diaspora for strengthening country's image in the world. Narendra Modi reiterates BJP's stand of serving people round the clock, not just during elections. JDU decides not to be part of NDA outside Bihar to contest upcoming assembly polls in 4 states alone. India calls for promoting micro, small and medium enterprises in developing countries to spur job creation and income generation. In ICC Cricket World Cup, India set 353-run victory target against Australia at the Oval, and summit clash between Rafael Nadal and Dominic Thiem underway in French Open tennis. That's all in the news at 9. Good night.